What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over ranking our top 10 small forwards right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Now, as I do go through my top 10, know and realize I'm not going to be including any of these hidden gem cards. Now, obviously, again, Jayson Tatum, like the hidden gem Jayson Tatum. People are not the hidden gem. The rep reward Jayson Tatum. People actually have this card, guys. Like, there's people that have grinded and got to Dark Matter rep, and they have Jayson Tatum. And obviously, if you have this card, he still only has normal release timing, which is crazy. But he'd obviously make the list. Giannis, small forward, would obviously make the list. But we're not going to be including any of those hidden gem cards just because nobody really has them. And if you do have them, again, I'd run them. Like, it really is that simple, that easy. But I'm going to be diving into my top 10 today, starting with Mr. OG Anunoby. I've never actually ran this card. It's rare to play against this card as well. I feel like the NBA is back set. There's just not that many people that are running these cards. OG 6'7", hotspots from both corners, 86 3-ball, defensively stout. He's like a 3-and-D guy, but like, there's just other better 3-and-D players in my team. And so, like, yes, OG Anunoby is fantastic. There really is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. However, I just think there are better options. Like, again, OG based on quick is fantastic. Normally is good. Dribble style, whatever. And he's going to play decent defense. But there are guys that defend at a higher clip. Guys that have a better player model than OG Anunoby. So, sure, he comes in here at number 10. I like the card at the small forward position. I just think there are better options. Coming in at my number 9 is one of those better options at that small forward position. It is Diamond Andrei Kirilenko. Kind of I don't want to say they're the same, but a similar type of player compared to a guy like OG Anunoby. Both 3-and-D type players. Both guys that are going to give you something on the court. AK going to be better defensively. OG's going to shoot the ball better with a higher 3-ball, and even a driving dunk that's going to be better. It really is preference based between the two. The one thing I will say is this year, the Haywood Highsmith release is good. So we see it with Danny Granger. We see it with Andrei Kirilenko. These are guys that have really good releases now. I mean, genuinely, the AK base this year is really solid. Super quick, easy to time, easy to green. And AK plays a ton of defense. So for me, I really do like Andrei Kirilenko. Every time I'm up against him, I feel like he plays better defense than nearly anybody else that I've played against. I would like to see the speed and 3-ball a little bit higher. Like low 80s in those two stats aren't necessarily great, aren't necessarily fantastic. However, I do think AK gives you guys a ton else on the floor. Coming in at my number 9. At my number 8, we're plugging in Rui Hachimura here, the Diamond Aura card. And one of the newer cards that did get released that I just love. I think, like, if you compare Rui Hachimura to Andrei Kirilenko, the cards do some different things, but when it comes down to who's the more complete option, it's not even close. Rui Hachimura is definitely more complete. Now, with that being said, the Rui Hachimura base this year isn't nearly as good as it has been in the past. Basic dribble style, like, he's not perfect. I do like Hachimura. I think the card is really, really, really good. However, I do want you guys to know and realize the card is definitely not perfect in game. Decent 3-ball, decent speed, solid enough defensively, decent standing, driving, dunk, and badge-wise, literally so complete. I think that's what I like Rui Hachimura so much is the card literally gets every badge in the entire game. Good player model, gets every badge in the game, can shoot the ball, can dunk the ball, can play good defense. There's literally no flaws in the card. The only thing to me is it just comes down to, like, I don't know how high I can really be on him. To me, like, he reminds me a lot of this card. And I'm not saying the cards are exactly the same, but he reminds me quite a bit of a guy like Aaron Gordon, who is a card that I personally have. I just think when I'm looking at the cards, they're too similar to me. AG does everything on the floor. So does Rui Hachimura. I think both cards are really, really, really solid. It just comes down to their releases are slightly slow. Coming in at my number 7, we're plugging in Pink Diamond Larry Bird. Is it our first Pink Diamond? Yeah, our first Pink Diamond to plug in today. I want to start with this for Larry Bird. I do not love the Larry Bird release. It's not horrible, obviously, especially compared to Hachimura. It's definitely not unusable, anything like that. I will say this, though. It's a little slow. Hot spots are good. But the best part about Larry Bird is his defense. Hall of Fame challenger, on-ball menace, interceptor, post-lockdown, 6'9", decent player build, perfect defensive stats. I think that's really why I like Larry Bird. He is a great 3-and-D option for you guys. I just wish his release was slightly better. I wish, I could trust Larry Bird on the court just a little bit more when it came down to the release, because that's the one part of this card that I'm like, eek. If I'm running Larry Bird, I don't know how much I'm going to agree with the card. And again, everybody is different with what, their specific cards. Some people, are going to like Larry Bird's release more than Rui. Some people might love Hachimura's release a little bit more. I think Larry Bird's super complete. I love his defense in this game. To me, a really solid card. I just wish his release was slightly better. Coming in at my number 6, Pink Diamond Kevin Durant. Now, I think, start with the fact that KD's badges and stats are a letdown, guys. If you compare his stats badges to Larry Bird, it's not even close. Larry Bird blows this card out of the water. If you want to talk specifically about his stats and specifically about his badges, it really is not close. Like, Larry Bird is going to walk circles around what KD can do. However, with that being said, KD's jump shot is smoother. KD is 6'10", a little bit taller. KD's player build is fantastic. So, I feel like with what KD lacks, he also gains some respects for what he does well as far as his animations, as far as his player build. But, again, you can look through his stats. They're not perfect. Yeah, I do like his 3-ball. I do like his speed. His driving dunk's okay. Defensively, he just lacks quite a bit. But I still respect him enough because I've played against KD enough times to know that if somebody knows how to use KD, I really am not good with KD, so I'm not the right person. But if somebody really knows how to use KD, he's a problem on this game. Good player model, player build. Again, long, lengthy, great release. He is an absolute issue on this game. If you know how to use KD, he could maybe be in your top 5. Coming in at my number 5, this one is one that people might not agree with. I'm plugging in Pink Diamond Danny Granger. The more I look at Danny Granger, the more I'm like, this card is so complete. I want to start with Danny Granger's hotspots. Hotspots from legitimately everywhere beyond the 3-point line. Everywhere. And you guys might not think that matters a whole ton, but it does. Like, that definitely does matter on this game. The fact that he's got literally hotspots from everywhere is so impactful. 6'9", 7'1" wingspan, 94 3-ball, 85 driving dunk, good playmaking, good speed, solid enough defensively, and just a complete card. Now, again, when this card first came out, I'm like, Hachimura is just as good. As times went on, I'm like, well, I think Hachimura's stat and badge-wise is probably better. But what Hachi doesn't have is the Haywood Highsmith base, which is fantastic on this game. Again, I think Granger is honestly underrated. Can't really move that much with the basic dribble style, but he's going to knock down shots. Defensively, he's okay. As long as he's not guarding ball, he's fine. I think this card is a really solid small forward for you guys to pick up. Now, am I saying that you guys should spend 200,000 coins on this card? No, I'd rather you guys go get Hachimura for a fraction of the price. But Danny Granger is really good on this game. Coming in at my number 5. At my number 4, we're plugging in Galaxy Opal Jayson Tatum. I feel like this card is honestly a letdown. He's coming in at my number 4. I don't hate the card, but remember, he's a Galaxy Opal. He's supposed to be one of the best cards on this entire game. And honestly, I don't see that with Jayson Tatum. I just don't. Stat-wise, badge-wise, he's fantastic. I'm never going to hate on his stat badges. But his hotspots are mediocre. 96 3-ball, 94 speed, great defense, great driving. Those are perfect. His release is not great. Like, this year, there's been a lot of guys that have gotten better releases. I feel like, and this is me, I feel like Jayson Tatum's release this year is worse than it's been in past years. You might disagree with me on that, and that's okay, but that's where I'm at. I feel like a lot of people, got those improved releases. You could even talk about Danny Granger. You could talk about, Andrei, Kirilenko. A lot of cards got better releases. Jayson Tatum's, I feel like, definitely got worse. I don't love his release. I feel like his movement's not good. He doesn't have a leaner. I'm talking about too many negatives, but at the end of the day, his stats, his badges are fantastic. I don't love his player model, player build. I don't love his SIGs necessarily. He's fine. If you want to run Jayson Tatum, that's fine. But just know you're going to spend way too much MT on a card that I do not love on this game. That's just the truth behind Jayson Tatum. If you want to run him, do what you got to do. But I do think he's going to be overpriced. Coming into my number 3, Pink Diamond Kawhi Leonard. Yes, I like Kawhi Leonard more than Jayson Tatum. Do I think it's close? Kind of. But I think Kawhi is just more complete. Where do I want to start? Well, here's the situation. Kawhi Leonard is going to be a 3-and-D player in my team. As far as dribbling the ball, not necessarily his the best thing. Although, everybody can dribble a little bit. It's not like he's going to be worthless at it. Kawhi release, fantastic. And when I say that, it's not necessarily the cheesiest or quickest, but it's a release that if you use, you're going to green consistently with. You're not going to be missing many shots with Kawhi Leonard. It should be that easy for you to green on a consistent basis. Defensively elite, Hall of Fame set shot specialist, so you really should not miss shots with him. I really like Kawhi Leonard. I like this card. And I think if you are going to spend up at the small forward position, he's not the worst guy to spend up, because I'd rather spend on him than a guy like Jayson Tatum. Because at least with Kawhi, he's an elite at one thing, and that's defense. Like, there is not going to be many guys that play better defense than Kawhi Leonard. Gonna green shots for me. He comes in at my number 3. Don't think the card's perfect. I'll explain why, but is really good. At my number 2, Diamond Paolo Banchero. And I'm all ready for the comment section. I'm ready for the comments saying, Ty, you are so biased, Ty. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm ready for him. Let me know when I can tell. Can I tell? Okay, awesome. Here's the situation with Paolo Banchero. He's 6'10 at the small forward position. Compare that to Kawhi Leonard, Jayson Tatum, Danny Granger. He's taller than all those guys. His player build is absolutely massive. He's got perfect stats, nearly perfect badges. How are we not hyping this card up? 90 standing dunk, 96 driving dunk, upper 80s defense, 90 speed, 88 3-ball. Release-wise, it's fine. I mean, it's not necessarily the quickest. Is it as good as Kawhi's? Probably slightly worse, but it's fine. Dribble pull-up, not great. Dribbling, not great. But again, he's 6'10", near perfect card. Think of it like this. Just a better version of a Rui Hachimura is really what Paolo Banchero is. And I've hyped up both of the cards when they came out, but Paolo Banchero is still, in my opinion, for sure a top 3 small forward in the game. If you're running Jayson Tatum over this card, I feel so badly for you. I feel so badly if you are running Jayson Tatum over this card, because it's not even close. Paolo blows the card out of the water with his height, with his player battle player build. Give me P5 every day of the week. At my number 1, the best small forward in the game, and it's sad, is a card we got on day 1. And I will hold true to the fact that day 1 was the worst day of my team yet. Because we've got LeBron James, who is still a top 3 card in the entire game, and he came out day 1, early September. We're almost in December, guys. So if you don't think pacing got broke with this card, I don't know what to tell you. Bron, in 89 3-ball, 95 speed, great defense for the Hall of Fame, high-flying denier, on-ball menace, posterizer. The best part about LeBron James is that release. I promise you guys, yes, he attacks the rim as well as anybody else, but I'm telling you, this LeBron base is special this year. It's so easy to time, easy green. If you're missing with LeBron James, yikes is all I've got to tell you, because his release is so special. Still by far and away the best shooting guard in the game. The only problem with LeBron James, he's like 1.5 million coins, which is just not realistic at this stage. Now, if there's anybody you thought would be on this list, let's say like a Paul George, Dr. J, they might be on this small shooting guard list. If there's anybody that you guys might want, like Tony Kukoc on this list, guess what? He might be on the power forward list. So realize that before you guys, get too upset at me. But if there is anybody that I legitimately left off the small forward list, let me know that down below in the comments, guys. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.